Salvete omnes, this is I'm Amelia, also known as TheMartianGeek, and we're into the main part of Mega Man 7. I should mention that if you press select while you're on the stage select screen, this happens. Mega Man seemingly gets crushed by this big red monstrosity. It's actually the game's shop. It's supposed to look like Eddie, you know, from some of the other games. You can see him in the lower left-hand corner there in all his full 16-bit glory. Welcome to Big Eddie's. I'm Otto, Dr. Light's #1 student. Unfortunately, I've lost one of my bolts, and so I have a couple of screws loose. You can speed up the text here by holding B. If you find my hyperbolt, I would appreciate it if you bring it back here. Anyway, I'll try my hardest. I'll make items out of any other bolts you may find. Select the item you want me to make. Yeah, this is the shop of the game, as I said. You can buy stuff like 1-ups, E-tanks, W-tanks. The exit module and the beat whistle I'll explain more about later. I can't buy anything right now because, well, I only have 2 bolts and everything here costs 40 or more. Bolts are the game's currency. I'll explain more about them later, too. If you get Otto's Hyperbolt, then everything will cost only half as much. Like, the E-tank will be 30, the W-tank will be 50. But it doesn't matter, like I said, I only have 2 bolts anyway. So, exit. Oddly, they decided to make B exit and Y confirm, which is just weird. Everybody knows it should be the other way around. B should be confirm and Y should be cancel. But whatever, as long as you remember it. I think Mega Man and Bass did the same thing, it's weird. So yeah, now we have 4 Robot Masters to deal with. Freeze Man, Cloud Man, Junk Man, and Burst Man. Now, as far as what order to do them in, well, my order is actually kind of weird. I do Freeze Man first, and then Cloud Man, then Junk Man, and then Burst Man. I'll admit that's a rather strange order, despite just being from top to bottom, but I have my reasons. Pretty much. I like to have the Rush Jet in Burst Man stage. You get the Rush Jet from Junk Man stage, and you need Freeze Man and Cloud Man's weapons in Junk Man stage if you want to get everything in it. And that leaves Freeze Man and Cloud Man for doing first. I would prefer Freeze Man because, well, Cloud Man stage doesn't have many hidden items or power-ups, and Freeze Man stage does have a couple, so as good a reason as any. Actually, my original reason for doing Freeze Man first is because, apparently, if you're going by weakness order, you have to do Freeze Man first if you want to get all of the items in the stages without revisiting any. Of course, that doesn't matter for me since I'm not doing them by weakness order anyway, but I figured, well, why not? Might as well stay with Freeze Man, even though I just realized that it's not necessary because of that. If you're going strictly by weakness order and don't mind revisiting stages, you might want to go with Cloud Man first. Maybe Burst Man. Burst Man seems to be very well designed to fight with just charged buster shots, but I'll worry about that when I actually get to his stage. In case you're wondering, the weakness order is Freeze Man. Freeze Man's weapon is Burst Man's weakness, his weapon is Cloud Man's, and Cloud Man's weapon is Junk Man's weakness. And of course Junk Man's weapon is Freeze Man's. So let's start off with Freeze Man, shall we? Obviously he's the ice-themed Robot Master of the game, and he has the ice-themed stage. Oddly, it seems like ice stages in these games are often the choices, the choices for first stage. Careful of this thing, it has a greater range than you'd expect. See, if you're not careful you can get hit even if you're not standing on the same platform. This polar bear is sort of a mini-boss, not really. I like to rapid-fire it to death instead of using charged shots. You can actually get up to that upper platform there without going on the lower part if you jump at the right time from the previous platform. And another polar bear already. Like I was saying, it seems like ice stages are the ones that you do first fairly often in these games. Not in the first Mega Man game, definitely, and not in Mega Man 10 with Chill Man either, but Mega Man 6, 7, 8, and Mega Man and Bass all had an ice boss, and he was usually a pretty good choice to do first. These are shield attackers. They're a pretty common enemy in Mega Man games. And since it's Mega Man 7, we can slide and charge our shots. Unfortunately, in this game, charged shots are only worth 2 damage instead of 3 like they were in Mega Man 4 through 6. Obviously, those ice platforms crumble when you stand on them, and those are spikes, and we know what spikes do to Mega Man. Fortunately, we can cross some of them. Well, we can jump over some of them, and others we have to cross by letting these guys drop the icicle, or just shooting them so they drop it automatically. That last pit of spikes, you can't jump over because of the low ceiling. At least I don't think you can jump over it without help from the icicle. Now here is one of the items in this stage. You want to use rush coil, you do have it in this game. And that's it. A letter H. It's actually pretty easy to screw up getting up there, because those platforms, obviously, if you stand on them too long, they start crumbling, and, well, then you can't get back up. And the jumps they make you make there are, like, pretty close to being as high or far as you can possibly jump. That's a Sniper Joe, another common enemy in Mega Man games, and the Sniper Joes in this game go down really easily. They take, like, 4 shots, seriously. Okay, now here you get a choice of pathway. You want to take the upper one because you can get an item. Those last 2 jumps are kind of tricky. Okay, now here's a problem. We have that enemy, we have the on top, and we have the one on bottom. I like to shoot the spine, or whatever it's called, the enemy on the bottom, so that it freezes, no pun intended, and then take care of the one on top, and then go back to worrying about the spine. Now this bear has a new attack, and I'm not really sure what the best way to deal with it is. Probably stand like a few tiles away from the edge of the screen, and then once he starts dropping the icicles, back up so that they don't fall on you. For beating him, we get an E-tank. That ladder is actually harder to grab than it looks. If you screw up and don't fall into the spikes, you can just use rush coil, which is a lot easier. These guys, I think there are 3 of them in this area, and yeah, you can pretty much be guaranteed that if the next platform is higher than the one you're on, there'll be one of those. I think they're called bomb slays. Okay, now, this is a rush search. It's the item we got from the part with the upper and lower pathways. You want to drop it here, or approximately here. You'll know if it's the right place because Rush will start barking, and he didn't. So he's probably going to dig up useless junk that we don't need. Let's try that again, shall we? No, that's not going to work. I'm not a fan of the rush search, really. It's annoyingly precise, and drop onto the lower platform, you dog! At least I think you're supposed to drop him onto the lower platform. Now I can't even remember. Nope. God dang it. Okay. Let's try right here. There's an item hidden underground, and if you drop Rush in the right place, he'll dig it up for you. If you don't, well, he'll either dig up nothing or something random like a piece of garbage. Oh, come on! Wait, maybe I'm supposed to turn around and drop him here. This is taking way too long. Oh, there we go. Also, there's absolutely no way to tell where the item is hidden. Which means you're pretty much out of luck unless you either have a guide or you just like to just drop Rush search every conceivable place in hopes that he digs up something. That's the exit module. We could have bought that. And most people probably would if they weren't using a guide, because there's no way in heck you're gonna find that! But it actually enables us to exit a stage if we've already beaten it. Yeah, in this game we only get 4 E-tanks maximum, but never mind, it's time to fight Freeze Man. His weapon of choice is a freeze cracker. And you can see he's frozen in ice at the start of the battle there. Actually, if you don't do anything to him, he won't attack you. But then you do something, and see, what I like to do with this guy, whether it's the best strategy, is, well, when you shoot, he jumps, so I like to shoot whoops when he's close enough to me that he'll jump over me. Watch out for when he freezes the floor. And for when icicles are dropping, that's what usually hits me. You can get stuck in the floor, and if that's the case, well, the freeze man gets a free shot at you. Hey, I actually dodged the icicles. I think the freeze cracker also freezes you. Whoa, this is one of those battles that I think is a good difficulty. It's not too easy, but not too hard at the same time if you know what to do. If you know what you're doing and pay attention. You only have 1 HP left, and you're dead, Freeze Man. And I still have half my health left. More than half. See, that boss is actually really not that hard once you get the hang of fighting him. Like I said, it's a pretty good fight. Probably one of the better ones. Mega Man 7 in general has bosses that are not very challenging, but fairly fun. And we get a weapon, an ice weapon that only works on white people, the Freeze Cracker. The Freeze Cracker fires ice bullets, doesn't it? Yes, and the bullets will split when they hit the ground. This is the only game where you get an explanation like this. Explanation from Dr. Light. You get Freeze Cracker. One thing they didn't mention about this weapon is you can actually sort of aim it. I mean, and we get a password. You can't aim it to the extent of the metal blade or something, but if you press up or down while you're shooting it, then it'll go up or down, like diagonally. I'll show that off in the next stage, but for now, you can see Freeze Man is now dark, so that means the stage is completed. And we got all the items in it the first time, fortunately. So, I'll see you in Cloud Man stage next time. That's the end of this one, so thanks for watching.